Who is your daddy?
I am your father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?
All right, so give me an idea of what you guys consider your favorite first-person shooter. I guess really first-person game of any kind, but I don't think there are many first-person games. Maybe Observation is one, I suppose. Anyway, I digress. First-person shooters. What was your favorite of this year? Starting with Derek, what was your favorite first-person shooter?
Borderlands 3.
Any particular reason that it's your favorite? Is you love
I
Borderlands?
just love looter shooters, and I love Borderlands' sense of humor. I feel like the shooting improved over the original and the second one, so the gameplay's better. I wouldn't say the guns were better, but I just feel like everything, I don't know, it was what I needed this year. I enjoyed it. I'm actually looking forward to jumping into DLC.
Kyle, what about you? What was your favorite first-person shooter this year?
Probably Borderlands 3 as well. I would count The Outer Worlds, but it's more RPG than anything.
It is. As a first-person shooter, it's not amazing.
The shooting just feels fun and good in Borderlands 3. I have a lot of fun just shooting things in that game.
Okay. Jeff, what about you?
Metro Exodus. Yeah, that game just thoroughly impressed me with visually, and the shooting isn't bad. I like the shooting. Borderlands 3, yes, I do like that game a lot, but I just wanted to pick something different.
Fair enough. Freitas, what about you?
I'm surprised that I'm actually the first one saying this, and I'm saying it at all. Modern Warfare, actually.
Yeah, you're Call of Duty bro now, man.
Y'all are just now talking me into getting this game. So
COD, bro. I need
COD,
to wear.
bro.
I need like a sideways cap and a beer. Smash it on my forehead, yeah. Or a Mountain Dew or something.
What is it that won you back over about this one?
Well, I mean, again, the campaign, they did a fantastic job. The acting is fantastic. The guns obviously sound good. They feel good when you shoot them.
I don't care what you say about Call of Duty. It always has some of the best shooting mechanics and feel, and they've always nailed that with their games.
The multiplayer is fun. I mean, you have a round, you play a round, and you're like, oh wow, I did actually pretty okay in that round. Let me play again, and you're like, oh, I didn't do so good in that round. Let me try better, and then next thing you know, it's like 2 hours, 3 hours later, you've played a bunch of multiplayer Call of Duty.
Yep.
So
Pull you right back in. Phillips, what about you?
I love Call of Duty, and I always think it's one of the best first-person shooters. But this year, I'd totally go Borderlands 3.
Oh,
wow. And I've never really got into the Borderlands games too much. I tried 1 and 2, just never really grabbed me for too long. This one, I don't know what it was, but it felt like it was like a good mix, almost had like some Destiny in with it. And I just loved the combat and getting into a big mess of enemies and using my special abilities, grenades, guns, and the music's just ripping heavy metal. It was amazing. I loved it. It was so much fun to play.
Yeah, so I got to give a shout out to 2 franchises that released kind of like sub games. They weren't like official entries in their franchises, but I love these franchises, both Far Cry New Dawn and Wolfenstein Youngblood. Both came out with new games. They should be right at the top of my list in almost every category that they qualify for, but they're just not. Neither one of them really delivered for me, and they both did fine. But I just restarted a new character on Borderlands 3. I'm going to try Zane, and right away, just in the first hour or so of playing, I was like, oh, this is just so much fun to play. The shooting's fun, the looting's fun. So to me, it's kind of a tie, I'll be honest with you, between Call of Duty and Borderlands 3. It's hard for me to pick. If I had to pick, I'd pick Modern Warfare just because I love the story and I think the visuals trump Borderlands 3.
Oh,
I think
easily.
very
You guys
different.
are
for
like
sure.
really selling me on this. Like, get Modern Warfare for $40 right now.
Again, Kyle, literally
same
for years, I was just like, Call of Duty is dumb.
That's
Like,
fair.
I mean, like,
That's
I was
fair,
mostly
yeah.
sarcastic,
Yeah.
but like, you know, it's like, oh, it was such a bro shooter. And
Dude,
now
if
here I am.
they
I
stick
feel
with
it,
this, if they stick with this, that's good. But anyway, I love both of those. I give the edge to Call of Duty because I enjoyed the campaign so much, and the visuals are just unreal, so pretty. So anyway, there we go. There's some of our favorite first-person shooters of the year. All right, and by the way, I am just relying on you guys to say when you absolutely have to bow out. We're gonna try to get through as much of this as we can, and then I'll split it up into episodes over the next couple weeks. And if we have to kind of call it at some point, we'll try to reconvene later this week or something.
Oh.
Just so you guys know.
I'm on board. Let's go.
All right, so let's jump into our next category to debate. Hopefully, we can make it at least through one more before any of you have to go to bed, you old men. All right.
Okay, Dad.
So, Freitas,
I work overnight, so like my shift's about to start. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're not serious?
Yeah,
No,
I'm serious.
he's-
But
no,
it's
he's
fine.
serious.
My work is very flexible. Don't even worry about it. I can stay.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
are
like
woke
they
up
listening
before we
right now?
recorded. Yeah.
I feel like that's like unemployed. Is that what the word? I'm not sure.
No. He's employed in it, and we have to
Okay.
work around his schedule. This is
He's
what
a
it is.
streamer.
Whatever it is you do, I'm fascinated by it already. Okay.
He's a stripper.
So,
Just a help desk job.
Show us your boobs.
all right. So, Freitas, obviously, we're gonna hold off. Wow. We're gonna hold off on
private
game of the year, the overall. But other than that,
Okay.
the remaining red columns, I'll let you make the call. We've got best adventure game, best action game, best visuals, or best combat. Those are the other categories we're gonna be creating shared lists for.
Put Greedfall in whatever we're doing.
Oh, shut up.
So, which one
You
would
know
you
what,
like
you-
us to dive into?
You've used up your greed fall card. You're done. All right. You know what? Let's do best combat.
Okay.
That
Best
sounds like a fun one. Let's fight right now.
Yeah,
All
this
of
one
us.
is gonna be an interesting one because you've got games that are like Devil May Cry 5, and then how are you gonna compare that to Fire Emblem Three Houses? I have no idea, but we're gonna try.
Easily.
Well,
Devil May
because
Cry
I
5.
think I think from the start we should just say, but it's about like how fun it is for
Exactly.
us.
Yep.
Like, you can't sit there and be like, Devil May Cry 5 plays better than Rage 2. Well, they play totally different. If
Exactly.
you really, really like Rage
Yep.
2,
You got to make a good case for it. That's how this one's gonna work. So, all right. So I'm not even gonna read through the list. Really, anything's up for grabs here. This list was just to kind of get you thinking about games that I think have unique or notable combat styles.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Let's not waste our time. Like, I don't even know why that's on. Just like do a Control F, write in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, keep going to it, and just delete.
You can do the same for
Nobody's
Anthem. You
Yeah.
can do the same for Anthem.
You can do this.
Probably safe for Anthem, yeah.
I put
You can do the
Greedfall
same
there
for
instead for you.
Greedfall.
Replace with Greedfall. Yeah.
All right. Did any of you play Blasphemous, that Team 17 game?
Actually,
I really
just,
wanted to
I've
get
been
to
meaning
this
to.
game.
it's part of my Humble Bundle, and I just got it, but I have not played it.
Okay, so since no one can really talk about it, we probably have to remove it by default. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay.
I know it's blasphemous, so all the blasphemous.
I know.
I'm assuming you guys want to make a case for Bloodstained for
Nope.
best combat. No.
I thought it was pretty lame.
I don't know if it's top 10.
Best
The
Yeah.
combat, I mean, I think it's really generic. It's really serviceable, but there's nothing
Yeah.
overly.
It's not
amazing
top
about
10.
It. Yeah.
All right, let me
that's
jump
fine.
down to one we haven't talked about yet. Daemon Ex Machina. I've played the demo of this, and I thought it was fine, but unless the main game really changes things up, I don't think it deserves top 10.
It's not top 10, but like
It is fun.
I will say it is a lot of fun. If you
Yeah.
can catch this game on like a half price sale, like grab it. It's like Armored Core, but like the stakes are real low.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump over to Dan Phillips. What's one that you would probably knock off the list, or suggest we consider knocking off the list?
For combat, I
Yeah.
would probably. I don't know. I didn't play a lot of it, but I just don't think it would stand up. World War Z.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like fun, but like
That
It
game
was-
is a lot of fun, but no. Yeah.
I didn't think the combat was anything
It's
that would
it's
be
a
on this
poor
list.
man's Left
Yeah.
4 Dead.
Yeah,
it's,
there you
it's
go,
a lot of fun
exactly.
though. Play it.
It
like,
is fun.
It's a
I'm
lot
not
of fun,
saying it's
yeah.
not. I just didn't think the combat was.
Oh no, it is
Yeah.
nothing stand out.
When we get to our personal picks for favorite multiplayer games, this is one I was at least going to mention as, hey, that was pretty fun.
that was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
It'd
agree.
be too. It'd be a top 5.
Um,
Those,
What about the Surge 2, Derek? Does that deserve to be considered for best combat?
It's good. It's solid. It's pretty tight, but again, I'm not
She
I'm
said-
not a big fan of Surge 2, so no.
Okay. I'm going to get rid of Crackdown 3, but I had to make sure it was on these lists so we recognize our X-Bots out there. Hey, I will say this. Crackdown 3 is just good, dumb arcade fun. Not the best combat
Yeah, it's
of the year,
it's arcadey. It is fuck.
Yeah.
It,
but not the best
I
combat.
just don't like. I feel like I'm talking about combat. I feel like they should have upgraded their like auto lock system. Like I don't feel
yeah.
like
Agreed.
that's acceptable anymore.
I just
know
feel
they
like
did it-
as adults we have better things to do.
Yeah.
Play
Very
that
true.
game also, that's
Very
like a
true.
job game.
All right,
my
Freitas,
opinion.
which one that you would suggest we get rid of?
I'll just pull the trigger now and say Oninaki.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
Okay.
some really fun
Yeah.
weapons to use in that game, but
There
like
are.
it gets pretty repetitive.
It
So
does.
yeah.
Jeff, what about you?
Wolfenstein Youngblood didn't light my world on fire, so I would eliminate that. It's not going to make the 10.
It won't make top 10 for best combat.
I
agree
think
with
it's.
that.
I want to say it's fun.
Yeah.
Play. Combat's
Yeah,
fun.
it's fun,
Very
but it's like-
smooth, but it's not a great game.
It's not even the best of the modern Wolfenstein games.
Not at all.
So,
No, not at all.
Kyle, what about you? What would you get rid of from this list?
Medieval, it's a PS1 game. There's no way it's got good combat. Like, I'm just not gonna.
They can't. No way.
Poor
There's
Dan
just
Phillips.
no way. Yeah, I'm sorry,
I
everybody.
mean, people that swore by this game when it originally came out were excited for this
Yeah.
remake. They love it, but
I'm
I mean,
sorry,
they
you're
exist already, you know what I mean?
Bandicoot,
Like,
Medieval, and Spyro fans.
They're all
happy
horrible.
for you. Don't give a crap about any of these games. Sorry,
That is
sorry,
so
I'm
true.
sorry.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get us started with ones that I think we should save, at least for the moment. Not a guaranteed top 10, but ones I'd like to save for now. And I'm going to start with Astral Chain. I think needs to be saved for the moment. For
I
best.
think the combat in that game is great, despite me being very disappointed in that. I think the combat.
Totally fair. I think there's other elements of it that are like, oh, that's kind of weird. But
Again, I wish that
That's
game
great.
just like put me in a level and just like it was linear, but like the
Yeah.
combat in that game is impeccable.
they make the rest of that game a little too obtuse, but the combat's fun.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree.
Derek, what about you? What's one that you would say? We got to hang on to this one at least for now.
Oh, Sekiro's got to be in this
Okay.
top 10,
yeah,
Freitas?
top 3.
Devil May Cry 5, obviously.
Yep.
yeah, that's
It's top 3 to me too.
Phillips?
I'd make an argument for Gears 5.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good.
top 3. I'm running out
I
of
thought they nailed the Gears combat.
Derek's
but
got 10 top threes.
the weapons in that game were really good, and
Oh,
they
so
actually,
good.
and they actually allowed you to keep your
map.
favorite weapons and put them on your skith, and
Yep.
you know, so you
I
can
love
kind
that.
of bring them with you. And I just thought it was so much,
Totally.
so good combat.
Jeff, what about you? What would you save?
Control. Come on, guys. What are we doing here?
You're
Control.
killing me, Jeff. You're killing me, man.
Absolutely.
What do I pick now? What am I doing over here?
Control.
Jedi with a pistol.
Control
Kyle,
battle.
you know which one to choose. Come on.
Yeah, I do. Oh, am I right? I don't know. Star Wars, is that right?
Well,
I
I
I think
think
it's
say
great.
Kingdom Hearts, but
Kingdom Hearts is actually great. I would have picked that. Yeah, but the Star Wars is great though. Like it's like
It
Sekiro
really is.
Light because
Yeah,
I
Star Wars is a
can't
little more
I
varied.
can't wrap my head around Sekiro, which is one of the very first games in a long time that's humbled me. I'm like, don't get it. Sorry. Can't. That game is way too hard for me. But like,
it's too hard, but it's the combat's still real tight and smooth.
no, it's very
it is
hard.
very
That's
good.
the thing. No. The people who are good at that game earned it. There is no like I was just naturally good at this. Like no, they earned it. You all earned it if y'all are good at that game. I'm too
decent
stupid
at
to
it,
get it. I can't get it.
Jedi's
However,
combat, though,
Jedi
is
Fallen
so-
Order, very easy. It's like Sekiro Light in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't think it was very easy. Maybe I just suck at games though.
No,
Put it on
it's
hard
not.
to get it.
Well, I think he's
I
doing it
started
compared
at like
to
hard
Sekiro.
mode, and I like slowly I bumped it down until like the very last fight. I'm like, story mode.
Yeah. Yeah, I played it through on, what did I finish it on? I think I finished it on the one right under the crazy difficulty.
Yeah,
you did.
Jedi
I
Master.
had it on Jedi Knight the whole way through, and then that last fight, I had to bump it down to normal to get through it.
Was it? I think it's Jedi Master, right? I
It's
think
Or
that's-
Jedi
It's
Master, and then I
story,
bumped
Jedi
it.
Knight, then Jedi Master, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
so I did Jedi
I had
Master.
it
It
on
was tough.
Jedi Master, and I
I
bumped
did
it down
Jedi
to
Master for most of the game, and those last few fights, I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yep.
I don't care anymore.
Well, that last fight, I knew it was the end of the game, and I think I fought her for a good 30, 40 minutes. And
it was
and
40 minutes for it was about
Yeah.
that.
and I just
Final
wasn't
boss.
getting much
this is
further in the
ridiculous.
fight. I bumped
Yeah.
it down, and I beat her once. So I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I
Me
was
too. This is ridiculous. I just need to move forward. Like I got other games to play.
All right, can we eliminate Anthem? Although we've made fun of it a lot, I do think the Anthem combat isn't awful. I just don't
Not
think
the
it,
worst.
I
yeah.
think Anthem has great controls. And
I have
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
Derek?
The controls flying around in that game was a heck of a lot.
I
the combat was repetitive.
Yes, I'm with Dan Phillips. It's got to go because I think the guns are trash. I think the special abilities like the RPG abilities and the flying are fun. They're
Yeah.
tight, they're really well
Yeah.
done, but the actual shooting and the guns they give you all garbage. Bloodstain needed to go too. We said we were getting rid of that. Get rid of that crap.
Yeah.
all right.
It's not going to compete with. There's like 20 games on here we could keep. Bloodstain.
Yeah. Yep.
And can we drop Apex Legends as well, or do you guys
I
love
think
that game?
Apex deserves top 10.
I
Okay.
think Apex
It's pretty
is-
popular.
Yeah,
I would
Alright.
almost
Fans
put
of
it
it
over
will-
Borderlands.
Oh, we'll come back to it. What about Darksiders Genesis for combat, Jeff and Derek?
It's fun, but it's
Yeah,
no.
it's not
my
groundbreaking or
top
anything.
pick.
It's really
Okay.
fun.
I'm gonna get rid of Days Gone. You can't stop me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awful.
I like
No,
it.
nobody's stopping.
Can't stop me.
Nope.
Don't erase Greedfall so fast. It's a
Where's
fun-
Death Stranding? I'm just
Hey,
kidding.
if Greedfall has Fable-like combat, I could see how that would be real
I'm saying
enjoyable.
it's super fun. What is
Yep.
y'all's problem?
Dude,
All right.
Death Stranding had the best combat. My apologies.
Yes. Trash Stranding has combat. Are you
Outer
serious?
Wilds too,
I had
man.
no
Crazy
idea.
combat with that radio gun.
Sometimes in Death Stranding, when you fall over, it's really like intense.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and say we get rid of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It was
don't-
Yeah,
fun
it's
arcade,
very
but it's not-
repetitive, but
no,
it's not. There's
nothing
there's
groundbreaking.
nothing to it. There's
Good,
nothing
good
to it.
game. I think overall that's all I could say about it. It's a good game. It's fun
Can I
with friends.
say I want to keep Mortal Kombat 11? I know
Oh,
a lot
yeah,
of people are
absolutely.
not
Yeah, for
fighter
sure.
fans, but
That's fine.
this is
Yeah,
That's
fun.
the
Mortal
name of the
Kombat
game,
did a
so.
very good job.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
gonna drop Rad.
Mhm.
Rage
Yeah.
2 can go, probably.
I'm gonna
Right?
Rage
think
2
that was
deserves a
all-
shout out for being fun and frenetic.
The combat in
I
that
think
game
the
is really
combat
good.
was the only good
I-
part of
Combat is the best part of the game,
I think
but
so.
but,
too,
but
yeah,
it's
me
not
too.
not better than some of these others though.
Kyle, what about Remnant?
I don't
Mm,
know.
a
Like
little
over
janky.
what? It's definitely
but it's
like 100%. We're keeping that over Apex Legends. Like 1,000%.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I've played
Yeah.
both, and I agree.
I think
Remnant's better.
Apex is tight as hell. It plays just like Titanfall.
Here's the thing about Remnant, though.
Okay,
I think Remnant
Derek.
is the first game to really nail a combination of ranged and melee combat in a Souls-like experience. And I think with
Remnant,
modern.
I'm telling you, it's one of the sleeper
really
hits of
fun.
the year. Yeah,
It's really fun.
I can't believe that game is as good as it is.
What about
so.
Judgment?
Okay, I mean,
It's
combat.
we're working on
It's
the
very
same
arcadey,
Yakuza
it's
fighting
Yakuza.
engine. Like
Yeah.
it is at the very end of the day, like it's straight like hardcore like old school beat 'em up combat, but like I don't know if it's top 10.
Yeah.
We're looking at a year of like Code Veins and Soul Likes and good Call of Duties for the first time in
Yeah.
a while. Sekiro's and Gear, like I know Gears 5 has like there's a lot of like love behind like the combat system in that game. I just don't know. I don't know if Judgment's gonna stand behind like in the top 10 scenario of these. Even though I would choose it over like Rage 2 and My Friend Pedro and
Yeah, it would make my top. it
even
would
over
put,
Greedfall. Like Greedfall's like it's good, like but the combat, like you're not there for the combat. You're there for like the impact you have on your world.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm ready to get rid of it, but like it may-
So far, we have saved 6 games: Astral Chain, Control, Devil May Cry 5, Gears 5, Sekiro, Star Wars. Sounds like Astral Chain might not stay in that list because I'm the only one who seems like I really love the combat.
I really like the combat in Astral Chain.
Okay.
I'm
I
right
didn't
there
like
with
the combat
you.
at
Yeah,
all.
I don't
so
know
that's-
if they're like it's everything else in that game I don't like. The
Okay.
combat's
Can
great.
we all agree to get rid of some of these top games? Like the Outer Worlds needs to go.
Yeah, Outer Worlds, not the
I didn't
best.
have any issues with the
Yeah.
combat. I know it's not the best, but
It's
I
not the
heard
best,
complaints.
It's
and-
serviceable, but it's not the best.
That's
what I'm
It's for an
Talking
RPG,
about the
but
best-
yeah.
It's serviceable. It's even fun, but it's
And do we
not-
say the same thing about Division 2 then?
Oh,
Yes.
combat's good. in that.
Yes.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
It's
The
nice.
combat, the
It's
combat is
serviceable.
fun, but I don't know if it's.
It's serviceable.
10
I would
fun.
say. I don't know.
I thought it was really
He's
good
confused.
for cover-based shooter, but I mean, I'd rather have something.
But if
like
we're talking
Gears
about
5
cover-based
over that.
shooter, isn't Gears the better cover-based shooter?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
If y'all say so.
Oh,
All right, well then, hang on.
It-
Before we
it's
delete
fine.
it,
I mean,
It's
I'm not.
fine.
I never played Gears. I don't know.
hang on
I'm
before
just
before we
saying,
delete
like,
it. Jeff, talk to me about Metro Exodus then with combat.
I
Oh,
think
it can go. I really like
Okay.
it, but it can
The
go.
combat's
It's
pretty
very
solid.
different.
Yeah.
It is.
it's
Alright.
very.
Yeah.
weighty
I mean, it's
and
different. I
sluggish,
kind of
but
liked
it's
what it
still
did with the
perfect.
combat in that game. It wasn't like any first-person shooters you typically play. It was.
Okay.
It
It's
felt
more
fairly unique.
survival
I'm not gonna
ability.
fight super hard for it, but I'd give it some credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would suggest that we can get rid of Apex Legends, and here's why. We've already got Call of Duty on there, and if I had to pick between the two, I think Call of Duty's gameplay, combat specifically, is better.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I hear.
I'm with you.
I wish I can play it, man.
Although, I mean, if you really like,
see.
if people really like battle royales and if they like the Overwatch stuff like that, Apex Legends does have more of the abilities like that, where Call of Duty doesn't. But it just depends on your preference, I suppose.
I just think the shooting is. I think Titanfall shooting's the best, and it plays
Titanfall is
just
solid.
like.
I love Titanfall. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like Call of
I think
Duty
it's
better.
solid, but I still think I think Call of Duty is still better.
Is it safe to say Code Vein belongs in the top 10?
What's that?
Does Code Vein belong in the top 10?
I absolutely love it and adore it, but I can acknowledge it's not perfect. Just like I can say with Greedfall, I'm okay with cutting both of those. I just wanted to talk about them again. Greedfall is amazing, guys. It's Fable.
Hey,
So
it's
I've heard
it's
I've never heard of
I
downloading
think
right
Kingdom
now.
Hearts
Derek.
like
It's downloading.
combat's awesome. I think
Oh,
Kingdom
God.
Hearts should be up there.
Yeah,
Personally.
I
Kingdom
don't
Hearts,
agree with
absolutely.
that, but that's okay. That's fine.
Kingdom
I-
Hearts
Greedfall-
Combat?
Hearts
so-
Combat's
I'm
so
just kidding.
boring.
Kingdom Hearts
That's why I
Combat?
had to stop playing it.
Yeah, are
No.
you
It
kidding
wasn't
me?
the story, it wasn't the worlds, it was the combat that was so boring. And I hated the space shuttle bullshit. Like, seriously.
You don't have to
Yeah,
do
alright.
any of that. You can fly right to the thing. You don't
I
have to
did
do that.
not
kept
like
dying.
the gummy ship. I
I'm like,
never
what?
liked the gummy ship.
I
but
never,
the
gummy
I never
combat-
did. I never do anything with the gummy ships. I
neither.
never created
And
my
you
own
don't
gummy
have
ship.
to.
I've never built. You don't have to do any of that. Just
No.
fly right to where you're
You
going.
guys are
That's it.
you guys are
Like,
boring. Okay, the gummy
the-
ship is awesome. All right.
Okay,
Combat in Kingdom Hearts 3 is
all right.
very
I don't know if
repetitive.
you're on our
First
side
of
or
all,
against it.
We're talking about best combat. Why are we even talking about the gummy ship?
Because
Yeah,
you fight in it. You
Yeah,
shoot in
yeah,
it. You
that's
battle.
Fine, but we're talking about the Keyblade fights. Like,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on.
I think the
And
keyboard-
they're not terrible, but I didn't love them.
It's
They're
just repetitive
fantastic.
For me.
They're
It's-
no
it's
worse
fine.
than the other two games, and they're 100%. It's 100% better than those two.
Can I move Borderlands 3 up into the top 10 for best combat?
Yeah,
I
think
like
so.
it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
You want to move your poopy joke game up there? That's fine.
Yeah,
All right,
you're-
so let's
you're
get
part-
rid of. And if y'all disagree, say it. But I say get rid of Code Vein, Greedfall, and Judgment.
No disagreement here.
Nope,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine.
I mean,
That's
if we're
fine. At the
trying
end
to
of
get
the
a
day-
10 and Judgment hits 10, you wouldn't hear me hate it.
What about
Rage 2
Call,
needs
Call
to
of
go.
Duty? Are we considering Call of Duty a game that's best combat?
From what I've heard, I would put it up there. For
We're
best
gonna-
Call of
combat.
Duty. We got to pick a first-person shooter.
I was
and
gonna
it's-
say we're gonna have 17 first-person shooters on this list, or is that what? Is that
There's
what we're
like
doing?
2.
I don't.
Okay, Gears isn't a first-person shooter. I'm sorry. Yeah, excuse me.
So we've got Rage
So-
2 and Call of Duty. I'd put Call of Duty above it, but Rage 2 is fun to play. I just think
I
I
had
would
more
put
fun
Call of Duty
playing
above
Rage 2, but Call
Even
of
though I
Duty-
haven't played Call of Duty, y'all are just speaking so highly of it. It sounds
Let's
like.
just
Yeah,
put
Call
Call
of
of
Duty.
Duty on.
It's great.
Get rid of Rage 2.
Yep, I'm with
Yeah,
that.
Rage 2 can go, in my opinion.
So now we are up to 8. We have space for 2 more. Mortal Kombat 11, of course, is a game all about combat. It's in
I
the
would put it
word,
up there
folks.
myself.
Comment
I mean,
Um,
yeah.
So I think we're probably not going to give it love anywhere else in these episodes. So I might as well give it.
It
Best
took out
shooter.
X-rays. I was pretty bummed about that, but whatever.
I'm going to get rid of my friend Pedro. It's got some cool mechanics, but not some of the best combat.
Kyle, 11 still has the X-ray moves.
Does it really?
Yeah, it does.
It has
Is
final
it the
blows.
same? Okay.
But I mean, yeah, they
It's
changed the name, but it's the same.
Okay,
Yeah, it's the
no,
same.
that's right. No, you're right about that. Yeah, it's just a different name, kind of different context. Yeah.
Yeah.
They use it differently.
All right, so
Timothy,
we've got-
I'm gonna need you to bold Kingdom Hearts there, please.
We've got one
Yeah.
spot
Can
left.
can we bold Kingdom Hearts? Can I?
We've got
double-
one spot left. It's between Kingdom Hearts 3, Remnant, and The Division 2. Dan Phillips, which one would you pick?
For as much as I like the Division 2, I'd probably still go Kingdom Hearts 3. I thought it was slightly repetitive, but what they added new into the combat, I enjoyed it throughout the experience.
And I guess I haven't totally eliminated Code Vein, Greedfall, or Judgment yet because there was some hesitancy there. Jeff, what
Yeah,
would you
but-
pick for the last spot?
Out of those 3, Division 2, but Judgment over all of them.
Okay, Kyle,
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Derek.
Unreal. No, I'm just kidding.
Grateful.
Out of these,
You
Like,
wouldn't
come on.
really pick
Why?
you.
Really?
I don't like Kingdom Hearts. I haven't played Remnant enough. I just know it's janky. Division 2 is fun, but I like Greedfall.
Okay.
Well, I would go with Kingdom Hearts 3 out of these 3.
Yeah, I'm dying on this
You,
hill.
you know,
Kingdom
you
Hearts.
make your own like move list in Kingdom Hearts 3. So if you found the comic boring, you're boring. That's my opinion.
Oh,
No, it's really
what do you
good.
mean you
Oh,
make your
snap.
own moves?
I mean, it's very repetitive. It's not.
All right, so we are deleting
just
from our
me,
best
the game.
combat list.
I
we are
just want to say that I kind of like Jeff. I mean, I don't care about his existence, but I think him and we connect a lot.
All right, so I am deleting Remnant, Division 2, Code Vein, Greedfall, and Judgment. And so the 10 we have to choose from for best combat in 2019 are Astral Chain, Control, Devil May Cry 5, Gears 5, Sekiro, Star Wars, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty,
Did
Mortal
we
Kombat,
really want to keep Astral Chains?
and Kingdom Hearts 3. I do.
I didn't like the combat at all.
Is
but
it just
maybe
me?
No, I'm all about Astral Chain being on there. It's an amazing.
I think it's
combat
some of the best,
system.
dude. It's some of the best combat.
Yeah, I
think.
wish it was all just that.
It's so
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
Top 2 for sure.
It is actually
100%.
surprisingly complex combat for a
Oh,
platinum game. Like
Absolutely.
it feels like most games, those games, especially even Bayonetta, you can kind of button mash and dodge your way around everything, and it's a
Not
blast.
This one. You really gotta, like,
you've got to really work that what are they called, the demon or whatever that's on
Yeah.
your on the end of the chain. You have
you're
to
wrapping it up with the
Yeah,
chain. You're
really
it's all
interesting.
About placement of your demon and everything. It's really like complex. There's a lot going on in that
But
game.
that being said, I realize it is not for everybody. I'm okay if it's towards the bottom of the list when it's all said and done. I just
Sure.
think it deserves to be placed.
If it's just
Okay.
you and me, then sure, it can be towards the
Yeah.
bottom. Yeah.
Let's just talk about Control real quick. I love the combat and Control. I think it's one of the highlights of the game.
Yeah.
I think it was so fun. I actually got to the point where I was a little sad I was getting towards the end because jumping into a big room where I knew enemies are about to spawn, I did in a lot of games I try to avoid those because I'm just trying to wrap the game up. With Control, I was actually seeking that out a little bit because it was fun. So I really love the combat and Control. I think it deserves at least the top half of this list.
I think the
so, too.
telekinesis in that game was some of the best.
I think it's top.
telekinesis
Yeah,
in it.
I think
it's some
hands
of
down,
the
the
best
telekinesis are
telekinesis.
great.
I think it's number 2 on my list for best combat. I think Sekiro is easily the best game on this list.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Seriously,
fight
like,
about that.
I don't know,
I-
like even though I like that game, like really, like I suck at that game so bad. I would say Sekiro is number 1 as well, just because like it does take so much work at getting good at that game, and you're unlearning everything that Dark Souls taught you, and
Yeah.
Dark Souls taught you to unlearn everything that action games taught you, and it's just like it's this like constant thing that From Software is taking you towards, of just like
Well,
evolving the way that we think about games.
Freitas, what would you put at the top?
It needs to be Devil May Cry, obviously.
I agree with you. I
That's
think
my
Devil
number
May Cry
one.
5
That's my number
probably.
one. Yeah, but, yeah.
Motherfuckers.
I mean, the combat, the combo system literally tells you how stylish you're being. The combat itself is stylish.
Oh,
Well,
but
okay.
you're
It is.
so insecure. You need
No.
a game to.
No. I
Here's-
think,
Yes,
I
I
think,
do,
I
actually.
think
Yes,
that,
I
like,
do.
Bayonetta for the longest time was like hands down Bayonetta 2. I'm like, that's the easily the best action game like of all time. And then like Devil May Cry 5 happened. I was
The
like, I
thing
don't
is-
know.
The
We gotta
thing
start
is
having
as well,
debates
you've
now, everybody.
you've got multiple characters to control, and as
Yep.
they unlock additional weapons,
Yep.
this is mild spoilers if you haven't played it in a long time, but like when you get to stuff like Dante's motorcycle, it's like this game is insane,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and I
Dude.
love it.
It's so amazing,
Nero
yeah.
fires his arm, and you on one of the because there's the different types of arms you can attach that do different abilities, different moves, and one of them you literally can surf on it, and it's like rockets towards enemies. Like that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Like that's amazing.
It's an amazingly open, awesome like combat system. It's so good.
Like I appreciate Sekiro being difficult, but like if
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
talking about difficulty. I'm talking about how amazing it
No,
plays.
and
It's
I
so-
will say, like, to Derek's defense, like there's an absolutely understanding of like how combat works in that game that gets you to understand. It's almost like a rhythm game.
It
Like,
is.
you understand like the signals that are coming at you, what your actions have to be, and like that's pattern recognition and all that stuff. That's like gaming at its heart. I just suck at it, and like everything about Sekiro makes me so frustrated. And I'm
So I
okay.
guess-
I'm
I didn't
okay at
the
Souls
game.
games, but this game just totally like really humbled me, and I really hated it because it did that.
I have bitterness. I really do have
I have
bitterness.
so much bitterness, man.
I
have bitterness
I have
toward-
nothing but bitterness for this game.
Because it could easily be my game of the year if I felt like I could beat it. I'm not
Me
saying
too.
I
Same
can't.
here.
I don't have the
There,
patience.
you and I probably feel almost exactly alike about this
So
game.
the
No,
reason-
I'm 100% on board with you guys too. I mean, Kyle nailed it. I feel the exact same way about it. I wish I could get good at it, but
And you're
that
a Souls
combat.
guy, you know?
And I am a big Souls
Yeah.
guy, and I love it, and I want to get so good at it, but I suck. And
I feel like I
uh,
have the patience for it, but like I
right.
just don't understand the language.
Well, I get the language. I can't do, the pairing and jumping and dodging. Like it
Too much
really
to
does.
read at once.
There's so much going on. You have to be so quick with how you read it, and
I don't
otherwise it's
understand. Like this would
yeah.
have to be the only game you're playing, and
Yeah,
like there
no,
could
you
be
really
there
have
could
to
be
dig into
no breaks, there could be nothing
But-
else. Like this
But
is
that said,
life.
I mean, like when I'm going through these levels and I'm dealing with enemies that are on my level that I can handle in groups of them or whatever,
Yeah,
that combat is so satisfying and it feels
Yeah.
so good and has
And
such a
when
nice
you
rhythm
guys-
to it.
And like
It-
while I
Oh.
like Devil May Cry 5 the most, I think that's this is the exact reason why this game should be number 1.
Well, so that's
all the
kind
stuff
of
that we're talking about.
that's the thing as far as comparing is whether you find being best combat is more fun or something that's difficult and challenging, and even if you don't get it, you're like, well, I appreciate it for what it is. For me, I think it needs to be more fun, so that's why I'm saying Devil May Cry.
Jeff, what are you thinking?
Let me say this. I said Control is my number 2, and I looked over Devil May Cry 5. I would actually rate DMC above Control as far as fun level. Right, and it's obviously there's no tightness issues with DMC. It played fine. I'm still going to vote for Sekiro at number 1 because for me it's not about just fun level. I put 20 plus hours into the game. I did have fun. There was frustration, obviously, but it's just the perfection of the entire system, how it plays, how smooth it is. To me, it's the perfect game, gameplay wise. There's other things I would tweak. I think the reason it's not my game of the year. If I would have beat the game, hands down game of the year. But because I didn't beat it, because I chose not to stick with it, I think it's still number 1 combat. Devil May Cry 5 is number 2 for me, and then Control would probably be 3. Those 3 are the most fun and tightest of all these games on this list.
I mean, I guess it really is a matter of preference too, because then even if you go Dark Souls, for example, like Dark Souls combat is different from all of the Devil May Cry series, and I just think Devil May Cry not only looks cool, I think it plays amazingly, and like there's not room for error, especially if you're playing like Devil May Cry on the hardest difficulties. Like that it's a pretty hard game.
No,
Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, like those are combat games at their peak to me. For me personally, like I know that like if you really want to stretch like your like skill level, like it's all about the Soul series, and I love that series, but if we're talking about fun and we're talking about just like pageantry, which is like what these games are all about, just like, wow, did you see that move I just pulled off? Like she was shooting stuff out of her heels and he was hitting someone up into the air and turning into a bat or whatever, you know, like I don't know, there's just something really special about Devil May Cry 5, and we haven't had that in so long. DMC was cool, don't get me wrong, but like it's been a long time since we have a Devil May Cry proper game from its proper creator and everything, and I don't know, it was really something special. And I remember playing it and going like, this is one of the best action games I've ever played in my life.
Well, I think
would it be between those two?
I think it's between those two, but I think
it's between Sekiro and Devil May Cry 5.
I think we got to hear from Jeff. I know you don't care about Sekiro because you didn't play it.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Devil May Cry 5?
I really love the combat in that one. I feel like Control. I mean, I really love the combat and Control more than any other game this year, honestly. But I totally get your arguments for Devil May Cry, especially because there's that existing hunger for that type of combat too, because of how long has it been since the Devil May Cry came out?
Like 4 it's been 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And I also get the arguments for Sekiro too. I totally get the arguments for that because there's an audience for that, and they're very. It won Game of the Year at the Kojima Awards. So
Kojima Awards.
Just kidding. At the Game Awards. So I mean, clearly.
At the Jeff Keighley Awards. Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly there's an industry-wide and other gamers, not casuals like me who really suck at gaming.
Here's the funny thing. I actually find Devil May Cry 5 harder than your Devil May Cry's.
I just can't believe that.
I was going to say Devil May Cry 5 is not some cakewalk of a game. It's tough. And to get the actual... There's so many combos and so many weapons to use. There's tons to master. To me, that's what makes combat really good. It's not that you pick one lane and are really good at that. That can make it good. But I think Devil May Cry does so many different lanes, and it nails it all really, really well. I'm sure there's some that aren't great. But to me, it has this wide variety of combat. Do you like ranged? Do you like certain kind of weapons? I think it just hits all of it really well.
You can pick your favorite character of the 3 and go through that tower mode or whatever, and like it's still this like hardcore action game, and you can choose how you're playing it and the combos you want to do with the characters you want to do. Like that game's really, I don't know, man. It's one of the best action games ever made.
That's such a valid point. They literally have a mode where it's just like climb this tower and like just do the combat and just try to
whatever you
up.
Think. However you're playing, like nail it, like get a flow and get all the way up this tower, like, and that's. I don't know. That's so arcade to me. That's best combat. That's what we're talking about here.
Then let's do Devil May Cry 5 as 1, just because I think it's just me I think Kyle would support DMC5 at 1 anyways. And then
Over
Dan,
this, but I'm a big cheerleader for Sekiro. I think I
Dan,
have so
are
much
you
for that game.
more on board with Sekiro at number 1 or Devil May Cry 5? And I'm talking Dan Phillips.
Yeah, I'm. I definitely appreciate what Devil May Cry 5 does, but those types of action games generally aren't, my kind of game. I'm definitely more of a fan for what Sekiro was doing with its combat, so I'd have that at 1.
So I think it's just Dan and I that are like locked on Sekiro. I think Kyle is there, but he's also there with Devil May Cry 5. So my point is I think you've got Tim, Freitas, and Jeff who would all put Devil May Cry 5 above Sekiro.
Between those two,
yeah. I think, yes.
So that's your 1 and 2 then, for sure.
Yep.
That's, to me,
Yeah.
I think that's your 1 and 2. And for me, it's safe to say Control is 3.
Control
Does
3
anybody
easily,
think that Star Wars should be above Control?
No. No,
I
I
think-
honestly think Control should be above Devil May Cry 5, but I'm probably alone on that.
I don't
so.
know. I don't know if you want to like all of a sudden switch this list up, and I know Jeff feels the same way, and Dan, you feel this way, and you want to throw Control up at number 1.
Jeez.
I'd be okay
I'm
with
ready,
that.
I'm ready to Benedict about
I,
that. Like,
I enjoy Control more than Devil May Cry 5.
I like
Uh,
Control,
I
game.
think
I
at
enjoy
the
the
end
game
of
more
the
than
day, though,
Sekiro.
Control is not just a like combat game; it's so many other things. Whereas Devil May Cry is just a combat
Yeah,
game. So like
it's-
that's why it's number 1 for me.
I get you. That makes
I'm,
sense.
I'm gonna stick with that because of that. So
I'm fine with Devil May Cry 5. I don't think it needs to be replaced. Let's do that one at 1. We're looking at Sekiro dropping though. I think Control might have to be 2, and then Sekiro would be 3.
I'd be good with that.
I would pick
I'm
Control
totally
as
okay
2.
with
I just
that.
feel like
Yeah.
Sekiro makes sense as 2, but you guys
I
are now
think
saying
Yeah.
Sekiro
Control.
makes sense
That's
as
what- that's-
one
that's my
almost,
thing too,
so,
yeah.
Well, I
But
like,
if you guys are
Se-
conceding, yeah, I prefer Control over Sekiro. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I like Sekiro over Devil May Cry 5, but if DMC's number 1, then I'd think Control have to be number 2, and I'm okay with Sekiro at 3.
Cool.
This is an
Alright.
interesting turn of events.
Yeah, I'm very flabbergasted by this. So
And then Jedi or
I would say Jedi next.
Yeah.
personally. Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I would. I'm sorry.
I'm
Star Wars,
not on board with
lightsabers,
that.
force
I think-
powers. I mean,
I think
and
Gears
it
5
was fun.
and
It
Borderlands
was-
3 are better.
You guys are gonna have to pitch Gears 5. I haven't played that one, so
I think Gears 5, okay, it's the 5th Gears or really the 6th Gears.
isn't it probably like the same exact combat it's always been, but maybe a little more
Well,
refined?
It plays tighter, but it's also, they not only branched out as far as changing the level design, but they also changed the combat. So they
Okay.
give you a little floating bot with you, and he's part of the combat. Like he has special abilities. He also can fetch ammo and weapons for you. But the big thing is his special abilities, and we're not talking like, oh, he can do 1 or 2 things. He has like 8 to 10 things you can do, and then you can upgrade them. So
Okay.
I was
you have
talking
control
earlier,
over it. That's kind of cool.
yeah. So like chapters 2 and 3 is more open world. The whole point of doing the side quests in chapters 2 and 3 is to upgrade that bot. So if you just play straight through the story, the bot will still upgrade, but he won't be as powerful and he won't be as useful as if you were to do what I did, and that's go and find all his upgrades and then upgrade them in those chapters.
Yeah, and if you upgrade the crap out of him, he is very, very helpful.
He's very, very helpful, and I just think here's my thing. I don't hate Star Wars Jedi. Let me say that first of all. I think the combat's solid. I don't feel like it's as tight. And again, I'm not trying to be pretentious, like From Software games nail it. Everything else is trash. I played so many From Software games. I would say this about Code Vein too, just so people know. I love Code Vein more than Star Wars Jedi, but I still can feel the difference in Code Vein and Star Wars Jedi compared to anything From Software does.
Sure.
So-
yeah.
So I don't
You
feel
probably-
like playing those games are as tight.
You
And
probably
that's
hate The Witcher 3 too, don't you?
I love The Witcher 3, but
Come on.
it's not as tight.
I don't think the combat's that bad in that game. I never understand
I've
the.
never understood
I don't
that.
either.
I've never,
I love
I
the
will
combat in
never
that game.
understand the whole entire concept of being like, well, The Witcher 3 combat is shit. I'm like, well, what
Oh,
compared to what
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3 that came out the same year? Because they're not the same game at all. They're not even the same genre. Like,
I mean,
okay,
to me,
whatever.
The Witcher 3 plays amazing.
Yeah.
And I that's why I said it from the top. Star Wars Jedi plays good. I just don't like it as much as those other games that it kind of
Sure.
tries to mimic. and I think Gears 5 is better. Borderlands 3, I could see being behind Star Wars. I think it's a fun game. I think it plays good. It's tight, but I think Star Wars just does just good. I'm just saying, for me, 4 is Gears 5, 5 is Star Wars Jedi, and then 6 is Borderlands 3. And obviously, there's other games on here that you guys might fight for, but that's just how I see it. Where are you guys at? What?
I don't know. There's nothing about besides like the droid stuff you're talking about, or like the bot stuff you're talking about in Gears 5. Like, there's nothing about that
Different.
combat.
It's just
that just screams exciting to me. Like cover-based combat. Like it was better in the Division to me. You know what I mean? Because there's just more going on. There's more things to think about. I'm not talking about kinetically. I'm obviously like the action. Like is probably better in Gears 5, but like I don't know.
And
is that top 5? Is that top 5 of the year?
For me, it is. I feel like Gears games, you can't even improve them that much. I'm talking like the mechanics of it.
And maybe that's what I'm getting at is that not that like it has anything to improve, it's just that it hasn't. There's nothing to improve almost.
Well, yeah, mechanically, I feel like they've improved what they could. I mean, the only thing they could
That's fair.
from here is maybe even full-blown RPG it, which they might do.
Well, you were saying a couple of the stages were very open and like the progress is different.
I think they are dabbling in that. But yeah, I for me it's Gears 5. But if I'm alone, let it drop. Is anybody else seeing Gears 5 as a 4?
No, I'm not. That's
Okay.
Jedi ahead of it.
I'd honestly, I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna throw Mortal Kombat out there, to be honest.
I like Mortal Kombat. I had a good
But
time
I've
with
also
it.
liked Mortal Kombat since I was like 12 years old, so I'm a
think
little biased.
It
A little
helps.
biased.
It helps. Yeah.
I mean, same for me with Star Wars, but even younger.
Yeah.
It's
But
true.
I've
like,
always
I
wanted
like-
to do the stuff that I do in Jedi Fallen Order, like since I was a kid. And
Yeah,
I feel like
I
that
do
game
like that
nails
as
it.
4. Yep. I mean, the
It
force
does.
powers and how it mixes it in with combat. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
I
Oh my
just really
God.
like Mortal
So cool.
Kombat 11 because the progression from them like soft rebooting the series at 9 and then going to 10 and like blowing it out of the water with 10 and then the combat in 11. I don't know if simplified is the right word. They sort of simplified it a little bit, but like it looks flashier and it's more fluid. Like the moves are easier to do, the combos are easier to remember and do. You can actually pin the like any move. Like if you pause and then you go to the menu list, whether it's a fatality or a combo, a special move, you can actually pin it to the main screen, and you can do up to 10 of them. They'll float above your character. So it can be a little distracting, but if like once you get used to it, you can literally just kind of have them there. So if you're a newbie, you can pin those moves there, like you're kind of like trying to train yourself while you're playing, and get better at those moves, which is really cool. It's the first time I've ever seen a fighting game do that. That lets me literally pin what those moves are as I'm playing. Visually it looks amazing. I think the graphics in that game are fantastic for a fighting game.
Probably the best looking fighter game.
It's definitely up. Yeah, because like Injustice 2 was pretty gorgeous, and then they made Mortal Kombat 11. I was like, damn, this is a really nice looking fighting game. It has obviously great characters. I mean, there's some old characters that I kind of wish they had in there, but
No, I think Mortal Kombat 11 is the best fighting game. I'm talking just fighting ever. And I like a lot of fighters. I think it's good. Like, yeah.
I think Soul Calibur 6 was better than Mortal Kombat.
I love Soul
very
Calibur.
different. Very different, yeah.
Very different. I couldn't agree more. But it just in terms of my like taste of fighting games, like I enjoy Soul Calibur more.
Okay.
Even the story mode I thought was like
I don't know,
cool.
man.
Even though Mortal Kombat's
Power
probably got
Rangers
the best
Battle
story.
for the Grid is the best one.
All right, I can concede. Yeah, I can totally concede. That's fine.
All right, so I'm just throwing this out here. Right now we have Devil May Cry 5. This is all subject change. Control at 2, Sekiro at 3, Star Wars Jedi I think we've solidified as 4. So those top 4 seem locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, I went ahead based off feelings. Mortal Kombat 11 at 5, Gears 5 at 6, Borderlands 3 at 7, Kingdom Hearts 3. This is the one I'm thinking you guys are going to try to move up at 8, Call of Duty at 9, and Astral Chain at 10. Is there anything you feel needs to be moved up?
Call of Duty.
I mean, it sounds like Call of Duty people are pretty.
How high?
And to me, like, I'm okay. I think it's some of the best. I just think it's a great first-person shooter. It's never been bad, but I'd be fine with it behind Borderlands 3.
The only thing I do want to say though, like, hasn't it technically always really had excellent combat?
Yeah,
Or,
and
I guess
it doesn't do
gameplay.
anything.
Yeah, what's
No,
the
and
growth?
it doesn't do anything horribly new or anything with the series. It is what it is, and
Yeah.
it's
That's the
slightly
only thing.
refined.
There
That's
is
the only
something to
thing.
be said about consistency of a franchise every
Yeah.
single year. Like they, if they nail it every single year, they nail it. There's nothing to take away from that.
I will say this, and if you've played the campaign, you'll know what I'm talking about. So while Call of Duty Modern Warfare technically plays the same mechanically, like I don't think they have really any upgrade systems. There's no bot that's hovering over you. There's nothing like that. But they did change the way that you play the game as far as the type of levels that you're facing. Like I was talking on the show when the game launched, it's no more just, hey, go into this area, shoot 50 guys while 70 are shooting at you, then move on to the next area, or maybe do a cutscene and then move on to the next area, shoot a bunch of guys. They now actually have like stealth mechanics. Like there's different things that you're doing in the game where you don't feel like you're just doing the same thing over and over, even though you are essentially doing what you've done in Call of Duty campaigns before. I thought they did a really good job, and I think having a great narrative helped that. So I'm okay with it moving up. Again, I don't like Kingdom Hearts 3, so you're not going to get an argument from me. The question comes, are you guys really okay with Call of Duty jumping Kingdom Hearts 3?
I mean, me personally, Kingdom Hearts would be higher, but I'd probably the only one in that boat. So.
No, I'm there with you. I think Kingdom Hearts would probably be above both of those things, probably even above Gears. For me personally, I'm just speaking for me.
And
it's
like, it's kind of purely, to be honest, when you do think about it, because I know Jeff's like, yeah, that combat's terrible, but it's honestly, it's so visually stunning, the things that are happening, that I'm like, I don't even care if I'm just hitting one or two buttons.
I just really enjoy the AP allotment for all your characters. So you have a whole cast of characters. You have 3 people, and you have only a set amount of AP. You're choosing how you want to play, So I'm not saying that like, well, you chose this way, so the combat sucked just for you. No. It is what it is. You're always going to have a set amount of attacks and a set amount of defensive moves and a set amount of buffs, Yeah. So, like, that's not exactly what I'm saying. But, like, like, there are ways to, like, create a fighting style that's more catered towards your style. And I don't know. That it's just fun. And, like you were saying, Daniel, like, everything is very, like, it's just, like, it's out to 11. Like, you're summoning basically, like, Disney rides to, like, kill enemies.
I know.
So.
And like when you look back at the beginning of the series, like the actual controls were awful.
They're very
bad.
Bad.
And Sora had like clown shoes in the first game. Like they came a long way, even just like the movement of the characters.
Absolutely.
Sora,
like we're in a very streamlined version of what the combat has always been. But like it was good, and it's just like any other kind of hack and slasher, with a dodge button and magic mechanics. Like it's all kind of there. It's just there's a lot more kind of like cut to animation. Like now I'm doing this, and it'll cut to kind of like a animation scene.
I can't move it up above like Borderlands 3.
I mean, like.
To me, because I'm with Jeff. Like, I just feel like, yes, are there cool, like, and I played the game for a while, so it's not like I played it for 30 minutes and was like, this is trash. I was actually really hyped for the game because I wanted to really like it. But for me, it was like, the special abilities, like, I'm forgetting what it was, like the one where like the swinging pirate ship and stuff like that. I was like, this is so visually stunning and cool. But cool. I couldn't get over how bored I got with just doing the basic attack.
Well, but even then, like the 10th time you're seeing that pirate ship, is it as cool? Like I get the meaning of it being like repetitive, like absolutely. Like there's almost no argument I can make against that because it is what it is at the end of the day. At the end of the game, by the end of the last level, you're still summoning that pirate ship and hitting people.
I think it falls in the category of what I was talking about with Call of Duty earlier, and that is, it's good at what it does. Like, if you like Kingdom Hearts, it's good at what it does. If you like Call of Duty, it's good at what it does. I think the reason it's special is because of the narrative that it's in. Like, if you're into that story and all that stuff, it complements it. Does that make sense? Like, it makes that whole package better. It's not
Well,
a bad game at
and-
all, like story or combat and all that. All of it works well together. But I
And
think as just a combat game, I'm okay with it being in the top 10.
Well,
but
it goes back to what I was saying earlier about being fun, because like I think all of these games against Kingdom Hearts, visually the combat in Kingdom Hearts 3 looks the best, period. But as far as it being fun, and then it's not the most fun, and it's repetitive.
May
So
not be the
it's
most
not
engaging either. Yeah,
it's not
just
as technical as Devil May Cry. Like Devil May Cry
Not
is
at all.
perfection.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just leave it, I think, as is.
Okay.
I don't think
The
any.
list as it is right now, I'm not going to disagree with.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
okay with that.
Dan wanted Call of Duty up above Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts.
yeah, but the argument that these guys making for Kingdom Hearts 3, I mean, I don't disagree with any
Well,
of that. I'm fine
When you
leaving
like-
it as
When
is.
you like both games, it's not that
Yeah,
hard.
and I do
sure.
like both of them a lot, so I'm okay with it.
I
Yeah.
downloaded Call of Duty for the first time since Call of Duty 2 because of you guys. So that's y'all's fault.
Yay.
That's all
We
on
did it.
you guys. It's all you.
You're
All right.
welcome, Activision.
I know you're
Well,
not
it
like
sucks.
a big
We'll hear about
multiplayer
it.
guy, but give multiplayer a shot.
Yeah,
It's
when you're ready to jump in multiplayer, let me know. Let's
Okay,
hop on.
cool. Yeah,
shoot some
you
people
can.
in the face.
I'm gonna be very. Yeah, I suck at that crap. So like, you would have to. you'd
Nope.
have to run me through it. Yeah.
It's really good. You'll
Kyle's
enjoy
just
it.
gonna be in the
Cool.
corner, like squatting, like
I
looking
know.
around.
Like,
That's
hey,
all you gotta
what am I
do.
supposed to do?
Just camp it out. You'll
Yeah,
be
just-
fine.
I'm used to like Battle Post. I'm like, where's the medic class? You're like, oh, get out of here with that.
All right, so I think we nailed it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it off. We've got for best combat, our top 10 is number 1, Devil May Cry 5. Number 2, Control. Number 3, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Number 4, Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order. Number 5, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 6, Gears 5. Number 7, Borderlands 3. Number 8, Kingdom Hearts 3. Number 9, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And number 10, Astral Chain. Does that look good?
Yeah,
All right.
I
good.
accept this.
Who is your daddy? I am the father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?